Alright boys, today I'm making Liam bring the Datsun back.
Yes.
So we're starting to build again. If you've watched this channel before, you might know that this is our longest project, probably about 5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
But Liam's been collecting parts for don't know how long. Obviously it's a Datsun, so it's rusty as anything. So it's had a lot of structural work done. Liam's been collecting bits for I don't know how long. A lot of them were turning up at my house. And he's had to dodge them from his, well,
now ex-wife.
soon to be ex-wife, touchy subject, we won't talk about it. But he was getting them posted to my house, and then my missus was like, "You're ordering bits through with Liam's name on, just to get away with it." So
we got rumbled.
Yeah, we can finally get all the bits on the car. So what we'll do is we'll walk around the car, we'll walk around all the parts that Liam's been collecting, and then we'll start bolting them on, because sometimes you just need that
Just a bit of visual motivation.
Bit of motivation, yeah, when you start, because obviously it's been so long of this car just being a shell that I think today we need to start bolting some shiny bits on. So
yeah, that's it.
Let's get to it, mate.
Sweet, let's go.
All right, so body-wise then, you had all this front end done, haven't you?
Yeah, I'll talk you through what's gone on then. So basically everything that's this colour has been replaced with fresh metal or very good metal from a donor car, i.e. like the inner arches, strut towers. The only thing that hasn't been replaced, is the bulkhead, because it's a genuine right-hand drive anyway. It didn't need a right-hand drive conversion, so that was all good. But if you see on one of the other videos that we did, you'll see that it's literally like a patchwork quilt when we got it back from blasting.
Yeah,
so,
if we give you a little bit of history on this car, this is the second shell you've had, isn't it?
Yeah, second
because
one.
The first one was essentially a cut and shut, like quite bad.
Yeah.
Now obviously this one, they all have rust, so
yeah,
you know, it's just what car do you tackle? Do you tackle a cut and shut?
No.
Or do you get one that's all rusty?
I did get a quote, didn't I? I got a quote for the work to be done on the cut and shut, let's call it, and it was ridiculous. Like, no, I was like, there's no way. And it's always going to be a cut and shut, isn't it? Let's face it. Regardless of how much you do to it, it's always going to be that car and have that history. So
yeah, but I think now we've got a solid base.
yeah.
So this car still needs a little bit, doesn't it? So
yeah, it still needs some on the back, mate, where it's.
We've got some bits here. It needs a little bit of work on the rear arch, but what we're going to do with this car is we're going to build it. We're going to like dry build it, so to speak. So we'll build it as it is to. We'll go running and driving.
I don't know. Hopefully, I'd like to, because then obviously when we take it apart, don't we? It's sort of the wiring's all there, and you literally. The only thing I'll disassemble it, and then it goes for paint, and then when you put it back together, you know that you just got to not scratch the paint. You know, and you've got to do the interior and stuff.
Because we were to build it with paint, obviously it's getting an RB in it. Like, it's a resto mod, so like the fuel lines need brackets and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then what you don't want to do is paint it and then have to drill, because if you drill the paint on the Datsun, it's rusting.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
as we've found out.
Yeah, so obviously it's all black at the back because we've started to strip it down, and then that's just a rust protector. And then we thought, you know, we need a bit of motivation, let's just start building it, and we'll do all this little bit of sort of sheet metal work in the bodywork face.
Yeah.
But should we see where all your money's gone for?
That's it, mate. Let me talk you all through this.
This is the shiny bits.
Money. So, you want to start at the back here, or do you want to start down the front?
Oh, yeah,
start at the back?
I want to get it from the
From
back.
the back. All right, then we'll start here from the back. So all this is techno toy tuning stuff, T3. My plan was, I basically wanted to not be as bolt on. I mean, as easy as possible, but I didn't want to do too much custom fabrication work to it.
He wants to be a bolt-on barrier.
Yeah, pretty much. I just wanted to obviously go together quite easily. But because the S30 has been around for quite a while, and there's companies like T3 that have been developing parts for it, you can sort of get bolt-on bits.
The thing with this, you look at some of this stuff, that is like a full-on...
It's full-on billet.
Billet piece, you know, it's all etched, all like the directions on the back and stuff, like... This is like, you're not getting anything higher end than that, really.
No. absolutely not.
So,
Yeah, so all the rear end here is T3. I was going to go with Apex, which I've got the front, but we'll get around to that in a minute. But Apex were taking so long to develop a rear end because I want to keep the original differential because I've got a 3.9 diff which goes perfectly with the Skyline gearbox and I got limited slip diff and stuff for it. So I didn't want to start then having to go down the Skyline differential route and whatever else, do more custom work and whatever. But yeah, I didn't want more money to spend, which I didn't want to do. So I decided I want to keep that and keep the long nose R200 because that's more than enough to handle the power I want. So it didn't make any sense to try and put anything else in. Right, so yeah, so that's the back end there with that stuff. So the front end here, we've got an Apex front subframe. That's this thing here. That just bolts up with support braces that go to inside the car. It'll make more sense when we actually put it up if you've never seen one before. And then these are the mounts that Apex make for the RB. So literally would just all bolt in and bolt together. And then yeah, you've got like your control arms. What else have I got here? This is a brand new right-hand drive steering rack from Techno Toy Tuning. They've just released these, so I've been good in a fortunate position to get one. So I've got one. ST sway bar, the front one. I think that's for a 260 and 280. It's a thicker one. Apex engineered RB25 gearbox mount. That needs holes drilling in the floor, and then it should just bolt up the RB25 gearbox.
it's like things like that, innit? So if we painted it,
Yeah,
we go to bolt that on, or
you've got
it
to drill
needs
hole.
4
Yeah, you've
holes
got
or
to drill
whatever in the
holes all.
body,
Yeah,
you're knackered again then. So
yeah, it doesn't make
I
sense.
think dry building it makes sense.
What else we've got? Yeah, the cross brace that goes across the rear, sort of like a strengthening brace. I found a defect in it. I've ordered all these Apex parts I ordered years ago when I very first started building it, and they just developed this, and I found a defect in it because I'd not unwrapped it.
Liam's one of them weirdos. He orders the bits, like thousands of pounds worth of bits,
And just
then
leave them in the
just
box.
leaves them in the bag. It's like,
So when I've eventually unwrapped it now, I've had to send an email to Apex to basically say, this isn't aligned properly and it doesn't fit the car, but then I'm hoping that they're sort of going to warrant it for years ago, do you know what I mean? Even though it's brand new.
I think they've been
So-
quite good up to now, haven't they?
They
Didn't
have,
you
mate,
say
yeah,
they
to be
sort it out?
fair,
So-
to be fair, I've emailed
Yeah.
them, and I've sent them pictures of it, and they said they're going to send me a replacement straight away, so hats off to them that they've got good customer service in that respect. And then coilover wise, I've got BC Racing suspension. The fronts are still at my house in the garage. I've got to bring down.
Yeah, so these were on the old car, weren't they?
These are on that
Originally?
280Z, yeah, the original one, because it's the same shell in essence, really. What else? I've got new hubs here from Techno Toy Tuning. They've just been released, so I've got those as well. So I've got to use the old Datsun ones. And then yeah, I've got all the associated hardware and stuff to fit it. Still got loads of pieces at home in that I've got to bring down. All the stuff for the front and the brakes and what have you. That's all got to come down. So there'll be another video on when I eventually get the brakes and stuff to be fitted. So
Should we
all good
stop
fun,
chatting,
mate.
and get it
Let's
bottled on, or what?
start yapping and just let's get doing, shall we?
Yeah, so hopefully today we'll try and get the front end on, because next week next video, we'll have the RB down, do you reckon?
Hope so. I'm hoping to bring it down with one of my mates
Yeah.
tomorrow in his
Because
van.
obviously, bolting the engine, we've got the RB, so 25, all the turbo manifold and intake manifold and all that is with it, so we can start to mock that up.
Yeah, it's just things like that, isn't it? Like that bracket there is original from the original Datsun.
Yeah.
The intake manifold might interfere with it, so we've got to take it off. And if you painted it,
Yeah. And things like, obviously, the intercooler and the radiators down there, now they're not from a Datsun, but obviously we've got the TIG welders so we can modify them how we want. So we'll get all them in, fabricate all them. We want the boost pipes to come through them holes here so it looks all tidy. So yeah, plenty of work to do, but I'm excited to finally get on with it. So
mate, yeah.
let's
Cannot
get to
wait.
it, yeah?
Yep, let's go.
Several days later.
It is now about 2 weeks later, because we ran out of time.
Shock horror.
We're always running out of time.
We always
down
run
here.
out of time, mate.
But we had chance to bring some more stuff down. So the engine, watch my camera will turn around. The engine's here. So RB25, it's got 26 covers, because obviously they look a lot better than the 25 ones.
And I'm poor, I can't afford a 26.
No, well, let's just have a look at that pile of stuff behind you there. That's why you're poor. Right, so last time we got the subframe in. So the Apex Engineering subframe, the steering rack, all that good stuff. The started to put all the arms on, although it's held up with cable ties at the minute because the BC coilovers are welded into the original factory hubs, and they need sort of stripping down and going through. So we'll just leave it like this for now on the front end. Plan for this morning, we're going to get as much of the rear end stuff as we can on, because we don't want to put everything on the front. Obviously it's on the 2-post. We need a little bit of weight in the back, so we don't kill ourselves. So yeah, plan, get that on this morning. Liam's taking me to KFC for lunch.
I'll treat you, mate.
Treats me well.
I'll treat you.
Free labour and all that.
Yeah.
And then we need to get the engine in because I'm excited and I want to see how
How it all fits, mate.
it all fits in the bay and if we're going to have to do any sort of modifications and stuff. So let's do it, mate.
Do it, mate. Sweet.
All right, so rear end, we got the drop mounts on, the dog bone, that like anodized gold bit over here, that fits on the back. We've not put that on yet, or the diff in, because we've got a little issue.
I'll get it now. I'll get it now.
You grab it, mate.
I'll show you.
So this is the mustache bar, it's called.
Beautiful.
And the diff mounts into there. We can't mount the diff into it because we need to take the studs. That's got 2 studs in, and they're larger at the end, like swaged out. So we need to pull them out, but the double nut method's not working, and the stud extractor is
down
at
the
the
other
other
garage.
garage, of course.
Of course it is.
And then obviously another issue is
This.
so where that slides in there.
Let's see if we can get it.
So it goes onto these studs that come out of the chassis. And then this kit is designed for like several different types of Z and different types of different stuff like that. But we don't know if it's designed to work. This is
The UK.
a UK spec wheel well. And we don't know if it was designed to work with this or not, because if you can see here, it's like hitting the wheel well. So Liam sent a message to Techno Toy Tuning to see if we're just being monks or whether
It's a known issue.
it's a known issue that it shouldn't fit with that wheel. So worst case scenario, I think, is that we have to take the wheel well out. Do you think?
Fuel cell time, innit?
We were thinking about doing that anyway, because running the RB on the old tank, it might not be enough fuel. And pissing about like trying to get in tank pumps and all that stuff. So we might just put a fuel cell there, if that is the only solution to get that bar to fit.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're sort of stuck on the rear end for now until we get some answers for that. So that only means one thing.
Engine time,
Engine time, baby. So I think we're going to put engine and box in, so a lot of the weight will be in the middle, but we'll just put a few bits in the boot because I don't want it tipping forward, because it'll be an
Tell you
awkward
what.
video, mate.
We could put the diff in the boot, couldn't we?
Yeah, right. Stand there. Adopt the fighting stance. Health and safety 101.
If you know, you know.
All right, yeah. Let's get the engine in. All right, so engine-wise, before we sling it in the car, we almost forgot, but we need to change the sump.
Yep.
And that is because the original is a front sump, isn't it? So
Yeah.
like the
So that's
deep
the
portion
front.
of it is at the front of the engine, and the way that this subframe is designed, you need that bit to be at the back.
So it's the opposite like that.
So Liam's bought this one, designed to work with this kit, and it's also got this is RB26 pickup, that's been modified to essentially just fit
into
right in
that.
the bottom of that pan. So nothing's going to be going on permanent, because after all the mock-up and stuff like that, and when the car's getting the bodywork done, the engine's going to get rebuilt, because it's been sat
Years, isn't it?
like 5 years, you think? Probably more than that. Yeah. It's been sat for a while. We did have oil in it. We have been putting two-stroke in the bores and stuff, but, you know, for the level of build we want to go for,
Oh, look at that.
it just needs to get rebuilt. So, yeah, we'll sling this on for now. No gasket or anything. And then we'll
make sure
see
it
how
all
it fits
fits.
in the car.
Yeah, that's it, mate.
DRB is in the house. Right, it's in, however,
However,
it's a bit wonky, isn't it, mate?
well, I'll tell you what.
So, I think you can probably see it on video, but when you stand at the front, the back end of the engine is obviously further to the driver's side. Now, we've played around with the engine mounts. These are from Apex. We've played around with them, trying to adjust them as much as we can, trying to adjust the subframe, making sure that's straight, or making sure it's, you know, this side is as far back as we can get it to try and pull the engine round. However, whatever we do, the engine always seems wonky. Now, we have seen, if you look online at people installing these mounts, then it seems to be quite a common issue. I don't know if other people have just ran it, or whether they've obviously chopped them out for something else, or spoke to Apex and whether this is an issue with a certain batch or whatever, I don't know. But we're not going to keep the engine like that, obviously, because that would wind me up.
Yeah, no chance.
No end.
No chance.
And obviously, you're a couple of mil out here. By the time you get to the end of the gearbox,
Yeah, I think the prop shaft guys,
It's
it'd be
like
way out.
slapping
It'd be
a
way out,
tongue,
wouldn't
innit?
it?
So-
Yeah, I don't think it would fit, mate. In all honesty.
Liam's got some questions to ask people. Obviously, we've got to think about the spare wheel well for the rear end. All the rear end went together mint, apart from, we think it's just because that is a UK spare wheel well. If it works out that, we'll sort that out. However, the front, a bit more annoying, considering it's just an engine mount. It should be pretty easy. But nothing's easy, is it, mate? Nothing's a true bolt
Not
on
with
Barry.
this, mate. Not with this.
But what we'll do, if we don't get the answer we want with the engine mounts, worst case, we'll just make our own.
I think so, yeah.
It just means a lot more measuring, getting the engine where we want it, and also working out, because obviously we've got the gearbox mount over there, we have to make sure that what's supposed to happen is these mounts just bolt on, the gearbox mounts are the same company, so it should all bolt together. But obviously if that gearbox mount's designed to have these on, and we're not going to have the engine wonky, then everything's
Everything's going to be out, isn't it?
yeah, it
basically?
affects everything. So we'll ask some questions. We will, worst case, we'll make it again. You know,
Yeah.
it's only tube, so we can easily make that. But that is going to be it for today. However, good progress. You know, we've not touched this car in
What?
5
4 or
years,
5
mate.
years,
So
isn't it?
we've done more in the last couple of months than we've ever done on it. So yeah, hope you enjoyed it, and we will catch you on the next one when hopefully we've got some answers.
Woo.